Well, I was on the tennis court yesterday teaching the tennis. And little did I know, Tsitsipas and Felix Auger-Aliassime's match was almost finished. I raced to my automobile and pulled out my trusty smartphone and used my ATP app to see what was going on. These were the first words I heard.
Tsitsipas a little bit bamboozled.
Bamboozled. It's only one break, I said. Tsitsipas can break back. He lost the first set by one break. This will be the set where he breaks back.
Love setting.
This might be unraveling quickly. Oh, that's just brilliant.
Oh my God! And then that happens. Take a bow, bullet up the line. That's the point when you know it's probably not going to work out. I immediately start asking myself, what happened in the first set? What was the story? What was the story early in the second set? I got a clue pretty soon.
There's another. Add it to the collection.
A collection? He's got a freaking collection of them? Today on Coffee Break Tennis, we're going to be pretty quick. A quick sip, if you will. We're going to talk about Nick Kyrgios' match and the disappointment that we won't get to see Djokovic Kyrgios. We'll talk about the Tsitsipas match, and we'll take a look at what the draw has shaped up into, what it means for the number one guy on this half of the draw, Novak Djokovic. So I want to start today with a comment from the InstantGRAM. You can follow me on Instagram, which is my weakest social media thing, so please follow on Instagram to help me out there. But on the InstantGRAM, oh, by the way, it's at Coffee Break Tennis, just like it's spelled here. And follow me on the Twitters at Coffee Break Tens, like the number 10, TENS. So, Intiri, who goes by Alexandros9218 on InstantGRAM, Intiri, who's been commenting and watching Coffee Break Tennis forever, and he even made his own preview to Indian Wells video on the YouTube. I'll link to it at the end of this video if you want to check it out. But Intiri, my friend Alexandros says, this was no surprise. I believed in an early exit for Tsitsipas on my preview of the 2019 Indian Wells video he made. Then he says, it's me. I know who you are. Felix is the greatest talent that has emerged since Nadal 2005, according to me. I love this guy, and you know I've had a lot of conversations on the DM with Intiri. He knows his tennis very well, and I think Felix is the new prospective megastar in tennis who will for sure be world number one and win lots of Grand Slam titles. Mark my words. But you know what? I've been waiting for this moment for a while because my friend, Fat Nancy, who usually tweets me but sometimes comments below, and she made this comment over a year ago now. Felix Auger-Aliassime, I added the all day, Aliassime, remember his name. By the way, if you don't know my nickname, I saw it. It was actually already tagged. I was going to tag him on Instagram, Auger, and it popped up Auger all day. It'd only been used like 10 times. So I don't know who made it, but it's a great name, and it's going to be the name I use forever. So Fat Nancy told me about Felix Auger over a year ago. Remember his name, she said. And honestly, to be fair, she told me almost 2 years ago when Denis El Chapo beat Rafa Nadal at it was in Canada, and that was like almost 2 years ago, over a year and a half, something like that. Before any of us knew who El Chapo was, Fat Nancy said, "Hey Matt, I just want you to know about this Felix Auger-Aliassime guy. He's even better. Watch out for him. He's the real Canadian talent, real future of tennis coming out of Canada." Canada invested in its tennis development some years ago, and we're starting to see the results of that. So anyways, I just want to give credit to Nancy Fatsophone, Fat Nancy, who, like I said, a long time ago, almost a couple years now, pointed out that this guy was coming, and as Intiri said, Alexandros, this guy looks like a megastar written all over him. But of course, I'm not going to throw the Tsitsipas out with the bath results. Let's just and we'll look at Nick Kyrgios in a moment. But let's go through a little bit of the Tsitsipas match, and let's just cross our fingers that no overzealous employees at ATP Media tried to pull this video down, because we're going to look at some highlights with commentary over it. I will put my face in the corner to help. So Pete Freeman has been watching Felix more than me, actually, and I didn't watch any of those clay matches. As I like hard courts better. But I was thinking going into this match that going to Indian Wells, it's very slow. You can count from the bounce to the point of contact from the players. You can almost count to 2. With these guys hitting the ball hard, it's pretty incredible how slow this court is. Very high bouncing. It is very much like clay. Many people are saying this is the closest we've ever seen a hard court to a clay court, the way it's playing. And Pete watched Auger all day on the clay, and he said this guy looks a lot like a young Djokovic to me. He's a lot like Djokovic. Well, I'll tell you what. I saw this return, and I thought it was a little bit Djokovic-like. Not to mention that leaping, sideways, sliding, two-hand backhand winner that he hit when he got that final break before he served out the match in the second set. Take a look at that one more time.
14. Bullet of a backhand up the line.
That's definitely Joker-like, okay? Got to give it to you, tennis teaching guru and genius Peter Freeman. So after Stefanos gets broken in this 2-1 game, I believe he has 7 break. If we look at the stats, you'll see there were 7 opportunities to break. This is a little bit of karma, right? This is just like at the Australian Open with Roger Federer. Had all those break points against Stefanos Tsitsipas and didn't get any of them. And Stefanos, I believe all 7 of these were in that 2-all first set game, I believe. So there's a little bit of irony there in that he had those 7 opportunities to break back and was unable to do so. But honestly, even without that, I feel like we should have got some tie breaks from Steph. He had a lot of first serves in, a very high percentage of first serves. I think it's 83% first serves in. It's higher than Felix, but Felix is winning 81% on first, 53 on second. Those are good numbers. First serve win, 64. That's way too low from Stefanos Tsitsipas, and 38 on second serve. Now that's only 8 points total, where he got a second serve in. And honestly, Felix Auger, that second serve percentage should be higher because he had 5 double faults. So he only lost 4 points on his second serve that weren't from double faults, and 10-1 out of 19 points total. Stefanos only had 0 double faults, but he only wins 3 of his second serve points, so that's too low. But the story to me is, why did he lose so many first serve points? Now, here's a game. Take a look at this game. This is a solid hold from Tsitsipas. Does a great job, gets the first serve in, and finishes the point quickly. The only thing I can say is transitioning from clay to here, where this court is playing like a clay court. Felix Auger was already in clay court mode. Tsitsipas, I know they've slowed down Dubai a lot, but still he's coming from Dubai, so maybe the transition was a little harder for Stefanos. Maybe Stefanos has played way too much. This is like his 8th tournament of the year already. He's played all over the place. Maybe he's kind of wearing himself out a little bit, kind of like what we've seen from Dominic Thiem. Sasha Zverev's done that too. I think the fact that Felix is super fast, was playing great, and Kyrgios had to deal with the same thing. Cole Pickle had a great day. Felix Auger all day had a great day as well. Maybe the fact that he had such a great day and got so many balls back, it just made it a little harder on Stefanos to serve or to hold serve. He got so many first serves in, but harder for him to finish the point, harder than usual. Felix getting pretty much everything back in this slower court, helping Felix do so. So, it looks like this is going to be a good tournament for Djokovic and Nadal. Federer, I do think still, though, we'll talk about Federer after his first match. We'll save that for a video either tonight or tomorrow morning. Good first serve, big forehand up the line, comes to the net, applies the pressure. Could have got past there, but he didn't. I like it.
Canadian under
Big
pressure,
forehand. That's what he needed more of. A little harder to do on this court. Able to do it there. Then we had this nice backhand.
That's nice. Very nice.
And you got to love their running up and putting away the swinging forehand volley. So I think that was a factor. And also, I think what we're going to see more players do, this kind of reminds me of the first Nadal match with Federer, the first Federer-Nadal match. And I hope this turns into quite a rivalry like that. We can only hope as tennis fans. But it kind of reminds me of that, where Roger kind of was stunned by this guy, Rafa, in Miami. Now, this isn't the first time they've played. They played a lot in the juniors. Roger didn't play Rafa in juniors. These guys have played 3 times in the juniors. Of course, Felix won all 3 of those. He's now 4-0 if you count the junior head-to-head. And this was a pattern that we saw Rafa do with Roger all those years ago, and still to this day. We saw the same pattern here. Take a look at how Felix serves, kick high to the one-handed backhand. Stefanos has not developed this move in and block before that thing gets too high and just get it back in place so you can rally with him. Stefanos is not as good at that as a Roger Federer, definitely nowhere near. And that hurt him to some degree. But just in general, getting his backhand bullied. Just take a look at a few clips of Felix bullying on the backhand. That should have been a winner. That was a short backhand return off the serve. And look at the very next point. It's like the same exact return, except this time Felix doesn't miss. This is a powerful guy. He kind of reminds me of Rafa, the way he just blasts that ball. But I know some people out there cringe when we hear all this. Oh, he's Rafa. Oh, this young guy, he's Roger. He's Felix. He's Stefanos Tsitsipas. Will they have as great of a rivalry? There's no way we can predict it now. But is an interesting first ATP matchup for those two, and definitely a matchup to keep your eye on. Take a quick look at the draw before we look at El Kyrgios. Auger all day is really set up to do well here. So Nishioka is who he'll play next. Unfortunately for him, this Laszlo Gira guy, he's already beat, I believe he beat Felix twice on clay in 2 tournaments back-to-back, including an ATP 500 final in Brazil, I believe. So he's going to have to play him a 3rd time, but, on the ATP Tour, it's kind of hard to beat players 3 times in a row, so who knows who that favors. Of course, he'll have to get through Nishioka, who's super fast himself. Kevin Anderson wasn't 100%. He pulled out of the tournament. And now some guy I've never heard of before named Kekmanovic. It's like they heard me saying Kakanak and took my joke and made a real name out of it. If Auger can get through there and make it to the quarterfinals, he could run into Sasha Zverev, who I would love to see that match. Strafi Struve, who is 6'5" and played the shortest guy in the history of tennis. Ricardus Berankis, that was an interesting match. He could play Milos Raonic, all Canada battle. I'm sure Auger knows a thing or two about Milos's game. And this young Giron guy. Doesn't get much better than that. Sasha should, if they were to have that quarterfinal, should beat him. But, let's not get ahead of ourselves. There was a comment in the last video that said something like, or I think it was an Instagram comment. It basically said, great, he knocked out Tsitsipas. Now watch him lose to some scrub in the next round. So that said scrub would be Yoshihito Nishioka. And I wouldn't call Nishioka a straight scrub. He's got a good game. Interesting guy. On the top half of the draw, Dominic Thiem is liking the court. He might do well here. You got to play Gil Simon there, so he'll have plenty of balls to hit with Gil Simon. See if he settles into his rhythm. This Prajnesh Gunzavaran, an Indian guy, another young guy, is pretty interesting. Ivo Karlovic is 40 years old now, making history. And you better believe Roger Federer wants to get in on that 40-year-old winning on the tour history, we hope. Borna Coric went down to Dr. Evo. He'll play Gunzavaran, who will come through that, who knows. Monfils, the slider man. Ramos Vinolas, who likes playing on clay, might do well here. A lot of guys who do well on clay tend to be doing well here. And the Cole Pickle will play Joker in our 3rd round. So what the hell happened? Why don't we get our Kyrgios Joker match? Look at these stats. Nothing jumps out at you other than why didn't Nick Kyrgios' first serve win percentage go higher than 70? He got 73 in. It's kind of like the story with Tsitsipas. I think it hurt both of these guys that you're not going to get as many free points from hitting a big forehand or backhand off behind a good serve. The court is so slow that these guys are going to make you play extra balls, and advantage to the guys who've been playing on clay. Now, Kohlschreiber, he was playing in Dubai, had an interesting match with Roger Federer. The Cole Pickle always puts in a good performance. He's been around forever. This guy has been somewhere in the top 30 for like the last 10 years. He is the Roger Federer of being top 30 in the world and always showing up. Kohlschreiber's always going to put in a solid performance. He was Federer-like in some of the stuff he did, some of the incredible winners. He hit another one of those. Remember what he did in Rotterdam? He had another one of those little flick backhand winners that on the run, cross-court as the guy comes into the net. Kohlschreiber had an especially good day, so not a good thing for Nick Kyrgios. Nick Kyrgios had a big crowd. He had plenty of, he likes to work with a big crowd. He had it. 30-all, 3-all. We are about to see the super flick backhand on the run. Incredible winner, Fed-like from the one-handed backhand German Kohlschreiber. Break point, Kyrgios rallying, staying alive in the point, doing what he needs to do. And if we didn't get enough irony from the Tsitsipas match, the devil net cord. There you go. So if you didn't get enough irony from the Tsitsipas match with all the break points that he squandered, you get some more irony here with the double let cord. Now, the backhand flick was amazing from Kohlschreiber, but it did hit the net. which is a little bit of bad luck, although I don't think it would have mattered. The only thing you could say is, why didn't it hit the net and fall on Kohlschreiber's side? That's bad luck. And, we got the bad luck for Nadal with the net cord that Kyrgios benefited from in Acapulco, Mexico. Kyrgios hits the net on break point at 3-all. Doesn't go his way. He gets broken. So a little bit of irony for you there. Last thing we'll look at here, we're running out of time, but Kyrgios should have broke back to make it 5-all. He's down 30-love, 5-4. 30-love. Kyrgios hits huge forehand, draws the error. Then he gets another one. A little bit of bad luck. You worry this will derail Kyrgios, but it doesn't derail him. Look at this. They call it out, but it was in. Here it comes. Pooh. Oh, sorry. That one was in. Just massive. You can hear Nick. He's pissed off. He says, an even angrier forehand off the second serve. So we got our break point. Kohlschreiber's got to feel a little shell-shocked after getting bullied around by that massive forehand from Kyrgios. Kyrgios has slipped a few times. Shoe malfunction, don't know what it is. He's mad. He's yelling at his box, saying something's up with his shoes. He keeps slipping and falling over. He did fall over in Mexico a little bit too, if you remember. But this is a really bad time to slip and fall.
This game. Again, he slips.
All right, so I had some more clips, but we're all out of time. We got to get going. The second set, Kyrgios should have got broken twice, really. There was a serve. He kind of, it looked like, you know how he gets sometimes where he's so frustrated, he looks like he's not trying anymore. Kohlschreiber, in true Fed fashion, has a backhand shank that's just horrendous and lets Kyrgios back in. But anyway, he gets broken. I think it was pretty early in the second set. I don't remember. Like I said, we're all out of time. Thank you for watching Coffee Break Tennis. Of course, comment below what you think. I'm sad that we don't get our Kyrgios-Djokovic match, but you know what? I'm not an Indian Wells. I will be in Miami. So I'm hoping Tsitsipas and Kyrgios are saving something special for Miami. I'll be there to see it, and hopefully they don't do anything too special against Roger Federer. We'll be back after Roger Federer plays, either tonight, tomorrow morning. We'll talk about Federer's opening match. We'll talk about Rafa's opening match if it's tomorrow. If it's tonight, we'll probably be recording while Rafa is still playing. Thank you for watching Coffee Break Tennis. Comment below what you think of these stunning results. Or are they so stunning? What do you think of Felix? Is he Djokovic? Is he Nadal? I'm really curious about that. We know what Fat Nancy thinks. He's the freaking future of the sport. See ya! Oh, and Thierry thinks that too.